All right, in this video, we have this differential equation over here, and we need to find s of t. Basically, we need to integrate this equation, and we've been given that at t equals to 1, basically s of 1 equals to 10. So we have a differential equation here. We want to integrate it. In order to integrate a differential equation, we need to have all the y terms on one side and all the t terms on the other side. I'm going to cross multiply the s of t over, and I'm going to also cross multiply the dt over. So I have s of t times d s of t equals to ln 1 plus t dt. I'll leave my d terms at the end always because when I integrate, I'm going to get rid of my d terms. The next step is to integrate both sides. The integral of s squared in terms of dst is just s squared t divided by 2. And the integral of ln of 1 plus t, we have to do this by integration by parts. So anytime you have a ln equation, it's usually parts. So f equals to ln of 1 plus t, which is the first function here, and I'm going to make my g prime equal to 1, which is I'm just creating a 1 over here so that I can do parts. So f prime is just 1 over 1 plus t, and g is just the integral of 1, which is t. So now I'll put in my parts equation. So f times g, which is, so my parts equation is integral f g prime equals to f times g minus f prime times g. That's my parts equation. So I'm just going to sub this into this equation over here. So f times g is just this times this, which is t ln 1 plus t. And then we have minus, oh, I forgot my integral sign here. Integral f prime times g is just t times 1 over 1 plus t, which is t over 1 plus t. I'm going to put a dt at the end because I have to integrate this here to complete this. Nothing's going to change over here. I just have to do the integration of this thing over here. And in order to integrate this function, I actually have to do substitution, because when you have t over 1 plus t, that's substitution. You make u equal to 1 plus t. So here I'm replacing the bottom with a u. Then we know that du over dt equals to 1. If I cross multiply this over, du just equals to dt. I can replace the dt with the du, but I also have to replace this t. So I'm going to isolate t in this equation. U minus 1 equals to t. Now I'm going to sub u minus 1 for my t over here. So u minus 1. So now I can integrate this equation over here. It's a lot easier to integrate than this one. Before we integrate, I'm going to split the denominator. So s squared t divided by 2 equals t ln 1 plus t minus integral. I'll split this denominator, so I have u over u minus 1 over u du. Then I'll just simplify this before I integrate. So s squared t over 2 equals to t ln 1 plus t minus integral u divided by u is 1. And I'll leave 1 over u the same because the integral of that is just ln u. So now I'll finally integrate this. Integral of 1 is just u. Remember, we're integrating with respect to u. Integral of 1 over u is ln u. And then I'm going to put a plus c here because now my integration is finally done. So I'll have a constant. Next step, I want to just distribute this negative into this bracket just to simplify things a bit. And then I want to replace my u's back with 1 plus t. So this is the differential equation here. I mean, there are a couple of ways you can simplify it. You could distribute this negative into this bracket. You could common factor ln 1 plus t out of these two, but I'm not going to really bother with that. I'm just going to leave it like this because honestly, there's no really huge difference. We want to get rid of this 2x on the bottom. So I'm going to cross multiply the 2 over. So I have s squared t equals to 2t ln 1 plus t minus 2 1 plus t plus 2 ln 1 plus t. And we don't have to worry about multiplying the 2 with the c. You don't have to worry about the constant like that. And last step is I'm going to square root so I can finally isolate my s of t. S of t is just the square root of all of this stuff right here. So 2t ln 1 plus t minus 2 1 plus t plus 2 ln 1 plus t plus c. Now finally, I can sub in my point 1 and 10 to figure out my c value, and then that'll basically complete the question. So the y value is 10, and the x value is 1. So 2 times 1 is 1, it's 2. So, and 1 plus 1 is 2, so I have 2 ln 2 negative 2 times 1 plus 1 is 2, so negative 2 times 2 plus 2 ln 1 plus 1 is 2 again. And then I have a plus c. So now I just have to isolate for c. I'm going to start by squaring the other side and also combine these two like terms and multiply this in the same step. So 100 squared, 10 squared is 100. And this becomes 2 plus 2 ln 2 is 4 ln 2 minus 4 plus c. So now I'll just add this 4 on this side. So this becomes 104, and I'll subtract this 4 ln 2 on this side, and that is my c value. So now I can write my final answer for my equation of s of t. S of t just equals to the square root of this whole thing, and I'm going to replace the c then. So 2t ln 1 plus t. You know what? I'm going to expand this out now because I can combine this number with this one over here. So minus 2 minus t. Just expanded that negative 2 into the bracket. It should be a minus 2t. Plus 2 ln 1 plus t. And then plus c, which is 104 minus 4 ln 2. Final step, I can just combine this negative 2 and this 104. My final equation is the square root of 2t ln 1 plus t minus 2t, I'm skipping this one, plus 2 ln 1 plus t. Now I'll combine these two. That's plus 102 and minus 4 ln 2, and this is my final equation.